What's up, Overwatch fans? It's Sunday, and we are in Stage 1 here of the 2019 Overwatch League season. We are in Los Angeles. We are live, and we are ready to wrap up Week 4. The Paris Eternal are hoping to end the week on a high note. They have dropped 2 matches in a row and definitely need a win to stay in the Stage 1 playoff race. They'll take on a San Francisco Shock squad that's still licking its wounds after a hard-fought loss to the first-place NYXL. The Shock are currently the first team out of the top 8, but could climb into the playoffs with a win today. Welcome, everybody. We are live inside the Blizzard Arena, where 8 teams will do battle on our stage this afternoon. Welcome to the Watchpoint Pre-Show, presented by State Farm. I'm Chris Puckett. We got a great desk for you today. We got Zoe, we got Bren, we got Mr. X. We're all still waking up. Yeah, we just had our coffee. Yeah.
I got confused when you said this afternoon with the whole time change thing.
It's afternoon.
I was like, yeah, it's afternoon. I wasn't too sure, but no, I'm excited to be here on the desk today. First time being here with Puckett.
I miss you, buddy.
Yeah, it's a good time.
This is the first time, really?
Well, I mean, I've done the desk with you guys. You're always
crazy.
here, but not first time with Puckett.
I like it. I like it. We got Commando Matt with us today, and we're gonna have a great show for you. We are closing out the week strong here on Watchpoint. As the Shock fight for their stage playoff lives, Zoe is going to sit down with Super to talk expectations and to settle a little misunderstanding about him being super bad. Plus, Boston has already had a rough season. Find out how being the first team to lose to the Shanghai Dragons helped motivate this refurbished roster. And as we do every Sunday, we'll take a look at some of the most over-the-top, emote-worthy moments from the Week 4 action. In just about 30 minutes, the Paris Eternal will take on the Shock, followed by the London Spitfire against the Shanghai Dragons, and Florida facing Boston. The last match of the day features one of our 2 remaining undefeated teams. The Vancouver Titans have lived up to their name so far. They bring their perfect 5-0 record against the Chengdu Hunters today. While the Titans look like the strongest triple support, triple tank teams, the Chengdu Hunters have become famous for refusing to conform to the current meta. So, Zoe, is there a chance the Hunters can catch the Titans off guard today?
I honestly don't think so, Puckett. I think they kind of lost the element of surprise. How do you call that clown in a box thingy? Like, how often can you realistically get scared of that? Maybe once, twice if you're really forgetful, but not 3 times for sure. These kind of strats, they work against less experienced teams. But the Titans ain't that. They are cohesive. They've been playing together for a long, long time. They're not going to be caught off guard by a Hammond or something, by a clown in the box. I'm not actually sure how that's called here in
Jack in the Box,
America.
we're close.
Jack in the Box?
Yeah,
Isn't that a fast food chain?
Yeah, well,
Shout
Dallas
out to
Fuel.
Dallas.
Also, okay, shout out to Dallas at this point. No, but I honestly don't think they can catch them off guard. Like, the Hammond is not going to work against them. You can just ignore the hamster, honestly. And then things like Jinmu on his Pharah. They're going up against Twilight on a fantastic Zen player. I don't think it's going to work.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about Twilight. I think he's been a tremendous Zenyatta so far in the Overwatch League. A big win, obviously, for Vancouver to have a player like this, number 1 in a lot of the categories, even higher than Jonak, right? We talked about all these players, Jonak, Izayaki, Violet, right? The Twilight, I think, with all the antics that Bumper does, like the crazy plays, whether it's like the 360 shatters or hiding behind the enemies, doing crazy stuff. Twilight's performances go a little bit under the radar, but he's been really strong at the beginning of the season.
I'll tell you what, Matt. Do you know who else is a nut on this Vancouver squad?
Who? Tell us.
Give me a B.
B.
You. Can we
You.
This is
Why didn't you do it with us?
Get it up. Okay.
Is it Bumper?
It's Bumper, right? Bumper. Do you know this guy named himself? And then this is what his name stands for. He's
According
bonkers.
to Bren.
I don't think this
Bonkers.
is
Undomitable.
That's not even a word. It's indomitable.
Undomitable. Maternal and paternal, both in one. He's like the ultimate human. Electric and really, really good.
I like the R.
no.
That was
Really
not a
good.
stretch at all.
No wonder why the people wait for side
This guy's a boss man. That's all I know. He's doing the business to him on every game. So I don't even need to provide analysis with this because everyone knows what Bumper's like. This guy's crazy. He's just gonna 180 shatter you from the high ground.
If you want to be a perfect human, you just have to be both motherly and fatherly, according to Brenji. Enough from Bren. That match will conclude Week 4, but the day begins with a match that has huge stage playoff implications. The Paris Eternal are 2-2, but those 2 losses came in their last 2 matches. Today they'll face off against the San Francisco Shock squad that's 3-3, but looked impressive in the loss to New York. So let's start with Paris here, Bren. I'm coming back to you on this one. I don't know why.
Why?
But what's given them so much trouble in the last 2 matches?
All right, there's one thing I did spot, and that's I think the support ult usage for Paris has been a little bit lackluster. In particular, Heap. I was paying attention to him His transcendences have not been fantastic, and I think it did let them down in their match against the Gladiators. A lot of the times they're using them aggressively, they're not getting maximum value out of them. They're kind of using them early in these team fights, mainly because he's also being pressured quite a lot in a lot of these games. But for me personally, I think if they clean this up now, they are going to stand a significantly better chance coming up against the Shock later today.
Yeah, and I wonder who Paris starts today in the Zarya role. We saw Soon play map 1 in their last series, and then after that they went over to Shadowburn, and I don't think they exactly got the results they wanted. It's great to see Shadowburn up on the stage, right? He's got a fantastic...
He's smiled for.
Yeah, I mean, a fantastic Genji. You know, Zarya's been good in the past, but, you know, it's really tough for the Paris Zaryas. Here, Brent, I'll help you out. Give me a B.
No.
Give me an A.
No.
Give me a D. It's bad. It's just real bad all over the place. As I mean, this has not been good for Paris' Zarya play. I mean, close to last. It's been bad at the beginning, and I think with Zarya, how important this hero is in the meta to put down damage. You can't be rolling out like this.
Well, I have good news for Shadowburn. You have a chance to improve those numbers. We just got word he will be in the starting lineup.
He's
so
last.
Zoe,
He can't get worse.
Let's talk a little bit about the Shock here. They have a ton of potential. It's a 12-man lineup, but the question is, are they making use of that potential so far this season?
I really think they have. They've been steadily improving. They have been living up to the hype and to the expectations we all had on that roster. Let's take a look at how they stacked up against one, if not the best team in the league. Look at these numbers. Super, going toe-to-toe with Mono on that Earthshatter efficiency. Average energy for Sinatra and Nene. Pretty much almost the same thing. Like time to charge the ult for Johyobin as well as Meko. Like, they went toe-to-toe, head-to-head with New York. I, at this point, feel like they're definitely going to be in the top 3. Like, there is no other way.
I like that call.
Well, and you know what? We've talked about it earlier. That I had this thing, you know, with Super earlier this stage. The Shock weren't playing as well as what we just saw. And during that show, I was kind of asked to comment about their main tank, Super Stats, and he wasn't too happy about it. So we decided to sit down like adults and talk it over. So this is my 1v1 with Super.
I hope you won.
Super from the San Francisco Shock is joining me here for a quick word. We had a bit of a moment.
If you have to choose between Smurf and Super, I do think it might actually work for them to maybe utilize Smurf a little bit more than they usually do.
Oh, I watched Watchpoint this morning. You know, Zoe wanted to call me super bad. It's not. First of all, it wasn't even funny. It was just kind of like boring, not really flashy.
I mean, I was thrown off too by it, to be honest.
I saw
I was like,
that,
oh, what am I supposed to say now?
First of all, that's rude. Super bad, really? That's why we got a great movie, though.
How is it for you generally to like hear negative press?
I don't care what people say about me, whether it's good or bad. If people are like saying things that, you know, they call me bad or saying I'm one of the worst or whatever, that's like, to me, that's, you know, I don't really care about what you say.
When we interviewed you in the preseason, you were asking for more trash talk.
Yeah.
That's kind of what we were getting.
Yeah.
Are you satisfied with the level where we are?
Yeah, I think it's better just because, like, it's not as boring.
Bruises of theater!
Oh my god.
저희한테 다 4대0으로 질 거니까 we will beat you 4-0 every game.
I think just having more of that is just, yeah, it's more fun.
Your match against NYXL was as close as it can get. We obviously saw the improvements on stage.
NYXL will be able to get the victory here much closer than most fans would have expected. It was so darn close.
What do you think is the biggest difference from the Shock last year to the Shock this year?
I think for most of the season last year, even like in the last stage too, we didn't have like much structure, especially in like the first 2-3 stages, we were just kind of lost. But stage 4, we have like new coaches, new management. So all of that comes in, then we have a new schedule that's in place, and everything's just more organized now, so.
Where is the ceiling for the Shock?
Number 1, because, you know, we've shown that, you know, we can definitely contend with some of the better teams, you know, the best teams. So hopefully we can we keep that rolling in with the next stage and the stage after and just start racking up more wins.
Well, I can't wait to see more from you and your team. Definitely super good.
Nice.
Yeah, no, I brought it in there. Thank you so much for joining me here and clearing the air. You know, I really needed that.
Of course.
Yeah.
I love that kid. Super's Reinhardt ranks look completely different than the last time we showed them here on the show. And should we take credit for that?
Yeah, absolutely.
I think
this
so.
is all due to us.
Definitely Watchpoint's fault. He's now in the top 5 in all of these categories, and a big reason the Shock went 2-0 in week 3, and our favorites to beat the Eternal here today. Like the Shock, the Boston Uprising made a bunch of changes to their roster in the offseason. So far, they've made history, but for all the wrong reasons. Find out why they think it's about to change in a big way next on the Watchpoint pre-show. The Overwatch League is brought to you by T-Mobile. High ground or low ground, T-Mobile has you covered. The Florida Mayhem seem to have a better roster than they did last season, but they have the same 1-4 record through 5 matches. The Mayhem will face a Boston Uprising team that is still trying to stabilize after an almost complete overhaul this offseason. The Uprising shocked the Overwatch community when they traded their main tank Gamsu to the Shanghai Dragons just days before the season. Ironically, they went on to give Gamsu and the Dragons their first ever win in 43 attempts. So if the Uprising plan on living up to their name, they're starting in the right spot.
Ladies and gentlemen, history has been made. The Shanghai Dragons managed to pick up their first match victory.
In Gamsu defeating his old team tonight.
I was obviously sad because it's a loss, but I wasn't feeling too sad about it because I knew Gamsu played really well.
Gamsu is gone. The Shanghai Dragons acquired Gamsu from the Uprising.
He was a good friend of mine, so he was really like a role model I looked up to because he had so much experience.
I think he was a really, really good teammate. I'm gonna miss him.
They've got these new pieces in the squad, and I think that might be throwing them off a little bit.
Overall in the off-season, obviously we made a lot of changes. We picked up a lot of guys that have very high ceiling.
The new Boston Uprising means a lot of new talent. A lot of these players are super incredible, highly underrated players that were just honestly overlooked by a lot of teams.
Boston Uprising pulls off. Ilios pulls off the victory.
I'm still thrilled about it now. My voice is a bit gone from that game. I tried to bring up my comms as much as I could in the fights. It really did a number on my voice.
Boston Uprising right now looking fantastic.
Boston was the only team that gave me like a proper tryout. To be overlooked by every other team and then to be picked up for Boston and be able to play on stage like this is just like phenomenal. It's really, really fun. I couldn't have asked for a better team.
Success for the Boston Uprising to me means being the best team we can be by the end of the year, making playoffs, and taking it as far as we can go.
I think last season we had a very successful run. We proved everybody wrong with their assumptions, and I think just doing that again for a second season in a row would just feel so good.
Become a team that can rival every top team in the league by the end of the season.
We want to win more and keep going. We're just going to practice hard and ensure that we can get a lot of victories in stage 2.
So being on that team now and being a part of the same kind of storyline where people are underrating us now is like really, really cool.
AimGod was a late addition to the Uprising last season, but he's one of the leaders on the team here in 2019. His Zenyatta orb usage and Transcendence efficiency are among the best in the league so far. So, Mr. X, what's the ceiling for this Uprising team that is currently in the middle of the pack?
I mean, look, I think that, you know, when they talk about the loss to Shanghai, it's not even the same Shanghai as last year, so I don't even think you can take that loss that hard. I actually think a lot like Huck said, I think they can qualify for the end of season playoffs. You have Note, Kellex, and Aim God, 3 players on the team from last year who they know how to have success in the league. And then I think you bring in some new players, your Color Hexes, your Fusions, your Blasés, and I think you kind of groom them throughout the year. I think this can be a team, their ceiling is probably towards the end of the top 8, making it to the final of the season playoffs.
All right, keep your eyes on Boston this week. We've got 4 more matches still to go, but there have already been some incredible moments here in week 4. We'll take a look at our favorites coming up in Emote Control. It's the Watchpoint pre-show presented by State Farm. The Overwatch League is powered by Intel. Game, record, stream without compromise on Intel Core i7. And by Omen by HP, the official PC and display of the Overwatch League. Our second match today pits the London Spitfire against the Shanghai Dragons. The Spitfire quietly sit at 3-2 in our 8th and final stage playoff spot, while the Dragons have lost 2 straight after getting their first 2 wins of all time. So, Mr. X, what do the Dragons need to clean up if they're going to compete with London here today?
I thought Ding's Sombra play in the game I casted the other day against the Dallas Fuel was pretty poor. I mean, every time they would engage in the same way. They'd rally, they'd get up to the cart, then they'd stand there and wait for Ding. And the Dallas Fuel oh, they're going to EMP. They would just connect with OG and Uncle would fly out Transcendence. They were getting nothing out of those EMPs. You got to be better than that today. If you're Ding going up against Guard and you look at Guard stats in Sombra, I mean, why he came into the lineup here for London. He's been putting up big numbers. In that regard, I think in the Sombra versus Sombra matchup, you got to get better value out of the EMPs than just one player. We'll see if Ding can do that today.
I know, I'm excited to see both of those Sombras. Let's talk about London here. These are the 2018 Grand Finals champions, but do you think people are sleeping on them? They started off real slow at 0-2.
Yeah, I genuinely think they are, honestly, Puckett. I think they're a little bit of a snaky team these days, honestly, the London Spitfire. A little bit of a snaky team, bit of a snake in the grass. Almost,
okay.
Honestly.
There you go. You see yourself.
People are overlooking it. All right, Matt, we don't need your input here, lad, all right? Chill out, all right? Listen, this team, they were the 2018 inaugural season champions. They've come into the season. They lost the first 2 games in week 1, and now they've gone on to win every single game since then. This is a team now. I think a lot of people are underestimating them going forward. When you think of the top teams, the real people who are going to be giving you a challenge in playoffs, you're thinking San Francisco Shock, you're thinking, Vancouver Titans, New York Excelsior. You're not really thinking London. And they're just kind of, they're just at the sidelines, They're just looking in. And they're like, yeah, we're coming for you.
They're just being a snaky team.
Yeah, exactly, because that's what snakes do.
That's it.
Anyway, I do want to talk a little bit about the individual players we have here, because London started to look good when they made necessary changes, aka having Guard in on that Sombra, having Prophet in on Brick and on that Zarya. His stats looked so good. He once again just quietly comes in and saves the day with his versatility and his ability to just kind of play everything on such a high level. His Zarya stats, he's number 1 in the league, hero damage done per 10. He's, am I reading those off because I can't remember numbers, right? So he's number 2, death per 10. He stays alive an average of 2.96 minutes. Yeah, that I actually remember it, even though it was way harder. But, you know, like his stats look really, really good. And considering that he just kind of has been thrown in there again, I'm super impressed. Definitely an MVP for me again.
The 2018 championship MVP is still
Exactly.
good. Surprise, surprise,
Still
Prophet.
good.
All right, time to see which clips had the emotes flying in Twitch chat this week. It's Emote Control, sponsored by State Farm. Let's kick it off here. The Philadelphia Fusion get the old too slow from the Valiant fans during the walkouts on Thursday. I think this is the first one we've seen. Haha! Neptuno, get roasted, buddy! All right, what emotes do we have from our analyst for this one?
Ooh, that's a forehead in the chat.
You got to be ready for this.
No, that's
you
rude.
got the
That's
fans coming down.
rude. You ain't pulling away from a high five. That
You
ain't
got to high
it.
five the Valiant fans.
You don't think that's
No,
funny?
no, I think it's rude.
I think that's hilarious.
It's really not.
I love it. I'm a big fan of that. Keep it going, audience. Paris didn't beat Vancouver, but Cruz definitely wins the award for sneakiest Beaver of the week with this back cap on Rialto Point B against the Titans.
This excites me here. This excites me here, Pocket.
Look at that backward skating. So smooth.
Sideshow champ.
Oh, potato!
The sideshow champ. Get that in the
Kind
chat.
of like a
that's a
potato,
face.
but I think it's like a happy face. It's just,
He's like, that's like a poggers, but for weird people. So it's like, yeah,
it's really weird without
super
any hair.
strange. Super weird.
Sideshow, we do it out of
Super
love,
weird.
buddy. Can't wait to have you back on the desk. Let's
Do
keep
we?
it rolling. We got Shanghai's Young Jin, who took so much
no.
flack for his C9 in week 3. Well, he also didn't make it to the stage too well. Wrong way there, buddy. Guys, what do you got for poor Youngjin? He is having such a rough stage.
This is too good.
Yeah.
The IRL C9, dude. It's an evolution.
But I couldn't believe as well. It had to be Youngjin, didn't it?
Yeah, it was just the right one.
The worst part is he was going to walk into the audience. He was just going to
Yeah,
go
it
up
was,
into
it was
the stand.
actually the
People
other
with ring.
direction.
I love it. Let's keep it rolling. Jinmu, one of my favorite Faras. He's got so many great highlights, but this one was on Hanzo. Look at this beautiful 4K going up against the Fusion, Chengdu, just lighting everyone up as we see the Defiant get wrecked. Look at this tracer shot, guys. Oh, man.
Bro.
Can I see it one more time? That was so good. All right, emotes, what do we got? What do we got?
I got a Bren Shuey.
Once we, oh yeah, promoting your own emotes. Ain't no surprise here.
Unsubscribe right now.
Any way to fit some self-promotion.
Twitch.tv/Bren.
Here. All right, we got a one face over here. What do you got, Zoe? Oh, another potato face.
Potato sideshow, yeah. Shouldn't have worked, but it worked.
Potato for my ability to read. Up next, we got Envy here in this one. I love this play. A Diva Bomb once again connects on everybody. And then we get a little bonus emote at the end. Is that a 4K? 5K? We'll take it all. Look at the dance to celebrate. Man's got style.
Dab on him.
Damn on him.
Dab on him.
Let's start, dude.
Salt?
Let him know.
I'm
There you go.
slow.
We got it.
That happens. I love it.
Why
All
the
right.
It's just it's salty for the other team. You know?
So salty, so salty. That's been Emote Control presented by State Farm. Hope you guys loved it. We are less than 10 minutes away from some of the best Overwatch players in the world taking the stage here in the Blizzard Arena. And our analysts will let you know which teams are bound to come out on top. Predictions are next. It's the Watchpoint pre-show. time for Please Can We, where we make wishes to the Overwatch gods and hope that they answer us. So, Zoe, start us off here tonight.
Please, can we free Hammond? We have a baby diva. Why is there no such thing as a baby Hammond? I mean, honestly, I had a hamster. He rolled around in a ball. When I took him out of the ball, he didn't just die. Why is that a thing? Like, I honestly need a little mealy hamster on point, just like getting at those ankles. Like, that's what I want.
Ankle swiper.
Personally, can we please just trade Addo to a good team?
Yeah.
It's been too, like, the guy, I feel so bad for the man.
That's too real.
Oh,
for
it is
That's
too real.
That's
It's too real for me. Like, I'm looking at the cameras and he's just like, he's upset. Guy hasn't.
I'll go in there and save him, dude. I got my Marine gear.
You
on
probably
today.
could,
I'll go in there.
0-35. All right. Well, Matt, it's time for predictions. Everyone is copying each other's homework for the most part today. We got the Shock, Uprising, and Vancouver for everybody. But surprise, surprise, the original Shagster. We got Brenji taking the Dragons over the Spitfire. It's Bren. It's Mr. Rex. It's a 30-second face-off.
Come on now. I mean, you guys didn't go in there solo EMP, and London's going to be able to figure that out. I mean, every time the Dragons are going to go in, they're going to rally, they're going to solo EMP. But Ocean will come out. Trans, what are you dancing for?
I'm just flexing. Bro.
Well, you just pick Shanghai no matter what. You don't even try and defend the Shanghai. Go. Let's see if you got anything.
Keep saying your points, Matt.
You don't even have anything to talk about.
I didn't even hear your points, but all I know is Shanghai going to be coming in heated after those losses, coming for the win.
And for the 17th time this season, Brent gets beat in our 30-second face-off, ladies and gentlemen. We hope you guys enjoyed our Watchpoint pre-show. So many great games. We got 4 of them coming your way. This one, presented by State Farm. Enjoy the show, fam.